All right, Craig's having trouble connecting his camera, so I'm going to call him because we need to see what's going on here. I mean, this is. Let's see what we can do here. Hope you guys can hear this okay.
Greg.
I feel like this is a really lousy beginning to this episode.
Oh yeah. Are you recording right now?
Of course I am. I mean, this is the beginning of this episode, and you're not able to connect your camera, so we have to start like this.
Oh. Okay. Well, I was literally just about to log in to Zoom.
Well, then we should probably do it the regular way.
Yeah. Well, I got distracted because you called me.
All right. I'll see you in a second.
Okay. I'm just closing. I'm closing some apps on my computer first.
Oh man, you're an app closer.
That's what they call me, the closer.
Okay.
At the firm.
I'll see you in a minute.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, well, you can hang up.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to hang up.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Are you still there?
Hang on, I got to go. There's somebody trying to get on a Zoom with me. I got to go. All right. Talk to me.
Oh, hey, how's it going, Greg?
Oh, my God. So good now. Now that I get to hear your shiny voice.
Oh, my voice is shiny?
Yeah, it's nice and shiny. It's shiny and clean. Did you clean your voice? It's because it sounds clean.
Well, I mean, I regularly do dental care.
Yeah, that'll do it.
I mean, the voice is not a visual medium, Greg. It's not.
Look. I feel like right now what you're doing is delaying starting the episode. I mean, we already had the whole phone thing, and then we got this part. We haven't even gotten to the theme song. Oh, there goes the theme song. All right, Greg, go ahead and start us off.
Welcome to Two Guys Talking About Lettuce. My name is Craig Benzine.
My name is Gary Busey. Welcome to the show.
Have you seen Gary Busey lately?
Talking about lettuce.
Well, no, I mean, I figure I'd take his name because he's dead now, so, I mean, he's not using it.
I think he's alive, actually.
Hang on a second. Oh, yeah, I'm getting a notification. Gary Busey is, in fact, alive.
Okay, who are you talking to?
I just got the notification right here. So, and apparently, he's not happy that I'm using his name.
Okay, Greg, that's the logic of this. How do people hear us talking while we're recording a podcast?
Well,
they don't.
This
Greg.
podcast has a direct live feed to Gary Busey's house, and his personal assistant, Jerry.
Okay, Gary and Jerry, sure.
Gary and Jerry, which is confusing. Honestly, they should have different names.
Well, they do have different names.
But it should be much different. Like his last personal assistant was a woman. Her name was Mary.
Okay, took you a while to think of that rhyme there.
Yeah. Oh, it rhymes. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even realize that rhymed. I didn't even know. Anyway, so my plan was that when Gary Busey died, I was going to start using his name because they say that name recognition helps a lot in the business of show, as we call it, and. I just thought it would be good to call myself Gary Busey, but now I see that that's not going to be possible. So I just want to make an official announcement here. I am no longer Gary Busey.
I think it's a horrible idea to pick a famous person's name and then just take it as your own.
If they're not using it anymore, then
you mean if they died?
Yeah, I tell you what if I pick like a famous family and I just adopt their last name? Like, what if I were to change my name to Gregory Estevez Sheen?
No, Greg, it's a bad idea for many reasons. One, you're gonna anger the original person or their family. Two, you're setting up an expectation to someone who you might want to work with. They might think they're actually talking to the other person, and
that's the idea.
It will always lead to disappointment.
That's the idea. That listen, work is work, right? And if it gets me work,
no, but it won't get you work.
That's what I'm saying. Like it might. Yeah. I think we're on the same page.
No. I think that's not what you're saying. You're not saying what I'm saying.
I think we're both saying the same thing here.
Okay. Okay, all right. Let's move on, Greg. Let's move on.
All right, lettuce.
If you're lettuce. Oh, I thought you were saying let us move on. I thought you were gonna like.
I'm not just saying the word lettuce. Oh, look, I found this in my. I found this in my mouth.
Great. Thanks, Greg. Greg just picked something out of his mouth and showed the camera, and there was a little dot on his finger.
I think it was some sort of. It was like a seed, like a little seed of some kind.
And he showed it to the camera. It was just a dot, and he said, "I had this in my mouth," which doesn't really. All I saw was a dot.
I'm going to see if there's anything else. I'm going to see if there's anything else in there.
Great. This is a great time to do that, I think.
The things that work best on podcasts are visual jokes and visual bits.
That's true. I know. Always just use the words this, like I'm doing this or I'm doing that right now.
It actually reminds me of something that just happened to me yesterday. I was walking down the street and I was sort of doing this, right? And I look over at this guy and he looks at me like this.
You're not even doing it. It doesn't even work visually.
Anyway, I give him one of these, and then he's all like, and then
you're not saying when you say this and that, you're not doing anything. You're just talking.
I know. I want to make it even for the people who are watching and for the people who are listening. I don't want to favor one over the other.
So what you're doing is you're taking whatever actual content of what you were going to say and you're eliminating it so that it's universally nothing is what
I love when you say things like universally nothing. In fact, that's the title of this episode.
Okay, universally nothing. That's a good title, actually.
It is a really good title.
That's a good album title, I think.
Oh my God. One of my favorite bands from the 80s was Universally Nothing. They were terrific.
Okay. So you take other famous people's names as your own, and then you also give things that we made up to other people who don't exist, like Universally Nothing. That's not a band that exists.
How do you know? Do you know all the bands that have existed throughout time?
That is a good point.
See?
But you said they're from the 80s. I'm going to look it up right now.
Yeah, Universally Nothing.
Universally Nothing band.
They had a big hit.
Universally Nothing band. Universally... no, I don't see anything. I feel like if they had a big hit, it would come up. But I don't see anything.
Okay, what you've done here, Craig, is you've called me out on a lie in front of everybody.
Yeah, which is what I do all the time.
And what you've done is you've made me look like an idiot.
Oh, which is what you do for yourself. All the time.
That's what you did. And I hope you're proud of yourself. Oh, sure, drink your water. Excuse me, I'm Craig Benzien. I'm going to drink my water. What you guys who are listening can't see right now. He's doing it again. He's drinking water again. People do not tune into this podcast.
Hydration's important, Greg.
People do not tune into this podcast to listen to you drink water. By the way, I was about to say people do not tune into this podcast, period. But that's not true. I just found out we are the number 21 top comedy podcast of Thailand.
Really?
That's highest.
Pretty high.
That is the highest ranking we have in any country right now. The number 21 top comedy podcast. Apparently, we have a lot of Thai listeners, or maybe 3. I don't know how many it takes to get to be number 21, but I want to do a shout out to all of our listeners in Thai, and I want to say from the bottom of my heart, "Shishya," which is how you say thank you in Chinese.
Okay, that's that. Well, why would you throw Chinese out there just now?
It is an Asian language, and Thailand is an Asian country.
Okay, it just seems pretty insensitive, actually.
I don't see you trying to speak their language. I'm trying to speak their language out of respect. Whose
language are you trying to? You're trying to speak Chinese.
I'm trying to speak an Asian language out of respect for Asians, and I don't know why you're making a big deal out of it.
So if someone were listening, trying to relate to us, they could speak Spanish because they'd be trying to speak American.
Well, sure. I mean, Spanish is in America.
Yeah. So,
do you find it weird that we call the United States America when North America and South America are all America?
Yeah, it is. I've been called out on that on YouTube, actually.
Yeah.
So I actually now I try to say United States of America.
That's good. And I love you're the only one who pronounces it correctly. I hate being called out on YouTube because that's happened to me too. I've been called out on YouTube as being quote unquote the sexiest man on YouTube, and frankly, it's too much pressure.
Okay, who called you that?
I mean, between you and me, it was actually me under another username. Like I have another username that I leave comments under.
Yeah, you're just lowering your voice and
because I only want you to hear it.
You actually are clearer and probably louder now for everyone.
No, this is just for you. No one else. This is just for you.
Greg, do we feel like we're doing the same bits we've done before? Does it feel like
never? Speaking of the same bits over and over, we have a sponsor this week that I have to do an official shout out.
Okay.
I got the copy right here. This week's episode is sponsored by Steve. Hey everybody, do you know that guy Steve? He's a pretty good guy. Be nice to Steve.
Those are actually some decent talking points for once.
Yeah,
for a sponsor.
Yeah,
although it is weird that it's a person. That's weird.
It's just all about positivity.
Yeah, but it's a person. It's just
right.
Who's Steve?
Steve's
anyone named Steve?
No, just this one guy named Steve.
Are you sure it isn't Stevia?
Nope.
Or Stevia?
Nope. It's a guy named Steve. He's a guy. It even says it says, do you know that guy Steve? It's because it says he's a pretty good guy. Like these are the talking points. This is what I was given by Steve. Steve reached out to me directly and asked if he could sponsor this week's episode, and he gave me the talking points. And I said,
he pay you? Is he?
No, this was more of a favor. Apparently, there's some people who have not been that nice to Steve, but he wanted to let everybody know he's a decent fella.
But is he a decent fella?
I don't know.
What did he do?
I don't know, Steve.
Why were they not nice to him?
I don't know. I don't know anything about Steve. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do.
I feel like you shouldn't just say someone's a nice guy if you don't know anything about them. And they're just asking you for a favor, and you don't even know this person.
No, I don't know. No, I've never met Steve.
And they're not paying you.
No, didn't pay me.
So it's just someone. They email you.
Yeah. I got an email. I got an email from Steve,
and they said, "Hey, tell everyone to be nice to me."
Yeah.
And
I don't see what's wrong with that. Look, listen, it's all about positivity. Let's be positive, folks.
Okay. I mean, I don't want to assume someone is, there's something wrong with
It sounds like you were assuming that there was something bad about Steve.
I just feel like, if he has to go out of his way to get you to say that
look,
be nice to him.
He sent me a very nice email from the prison, and he just asked me to let people know that he's a decent person.
But he's in prison.
I think that he didn't want for his past to influence how people thought about him in the future.
Well, that's fair. That's totally fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to single out anyone who's in prison. But again, it is sort of weird that you would take time out of our podcast just for this person.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, listen, you're the guy with the iron shirt. Mine shirt is very wrinkled. I just noticed. So, I mean,
mine is not ironed. It is just, it was in the dryer and then I hung it up.
Oh, see, now that I should do that. I put stuff in the dryer overnight and then I just leave it there for a couple of months. And then I go in there and later it's quite wrinkled. It is quite wrinkled.
A few months is pretty, did the other people in your house need to use it?
I didn't say a few months. Don't try to make it worse. I said a couple months.
Oh, it's same thing.
No, it's not. A couple is 2, and a few is like 3 or 4.
You know what? That is actually a quirk of mine. I use few and couple the same.
Oh no, you shouldn't do that.
Interchangeably.
Oh, that'll get you in big trouble.
It hasn't at all. It hasn't gotten me into trouble.
Like if people say, "Hey, how's your family?" and you're like, "Oh, we're having a great time living in the same house." There's a couple of other people living in the house. See, that makes sense because that's true. But if you say, "Yeah, there's a few other people living in the house," what? Where are the other people? You only have 2 other people besides you living in your house.
That's true. But I also wouldn't describe my family as a few other people. I would say I have, I'm married. I have a daughter.
Yeah, you have a couple of people.
I don't really consider them just sort of nondescript other people.
But they are a couple of people. Are you saying that? Are you saying the two people living in your house besides you are not a couple of people?
No. They are people for sure. Yes, but if I'm talking to someone about who I'm living with, I wouldn't make it sound like I have a couple of roommates. It's a family.
Okay, I'm just understanding. Yeah. I'm trying to learn how families work. It's all new to me.
Yeah.
It's
hey,
all
do you want to
new.
read? Do you want to read our text thread that we had earlier?
No, I really don't.
Let's read it.
Oh my God, he's going to read these are our private texts.
Yep, I'm going to read it.
All right.
Good morning. Hope you're feeling good and up to recording soon.
Now that's what I texted you.
Yeah. Yes.
I didn't give you permission to read the private things that I said over text. And here you are just taking out our dirty laundry in front of everyone.
I'm sitting at my desk ready to go in half an hour whenever you're ready.
Wait, who said that?
You did.
Okay.
This is still your text.
Okay.
Because you're asking if I'm feeling good because I just had a COVID booster shot.
Right, a COVID booster. Because as I said, we should all be positive.
What does that have to do with being positive?
Well, I mean, they say that you're either COVID positive or COVID negative, and I feel like it's good for everybody to keep a good attitude and everybody stay positive.
See, well, yeah, but I got a COVID booster. That doesn't mean I was given COVID. I'm not COVID positive.
All right, okay, don't get political.
And I said, feeling all right, at least good enough to put up with you.
Oh man, and that was mean.
I mean, no. I mean, that could mean really good. Like that could mean like putting up with you. I have to feel really good to be able to put up with you.
I feel like you're backtracking now. I feel like you're backpedaling, as they say.
I was just listen, and then you went oof. Now I feel 3 inches shorter, and I said, "Come on, I kid." I was joking.
I remember this like it was yesterday.
That's much longer ago than when it was.
It's like half an hour ago.
Yeah. And then you said, "Oh no, you misunderstood. The height discrepancy had nothing to do with you, and the oof was because when I sat down, the side of my chair poked me in the ribs."
It did.
Yeah. How do you feel now about that?
A little sore. It's right here.
And did it make you feel shorter?
No, that had nothing to do with it. That has nothing to do with anything. Sometimes you wake up, you just feel 3 inches shorter.
Do you?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't feel like I think about my height that often.
I think about my height every day. I have a whole chart. I have a whole height chart. How high do I feel today? How tall?
Yeah. So how high is something else then?
Yeah, no, how high? You're right. How high that's more of like a drug reference.
Yeah.
So how tall? Although you could use that, like, because people talk about like what's your height, but then why don't they just go like how high are you? Because if they ask you what your height is,
I feel like that's
it's like saying
easily
how high
could be
are you?
misunderstood. Easily misunderstood.
But it's weird because people don't say, "Hey, what's your tallness?" Like they don't say that. What's your tallness? How tall are you? Why in the world do they use two different words for the same thing?
Height and tallness?
Yeah, I mean, because look, people say, how tall are you? Or they say, what is your height? They don't say, what is your tallness and how high are you? They should be interchangeable is all I'm saying. If I were president, that's the first thing I would change.
Well, tallness is is that even a word? Tallness?
I don't know. You look it up. I don't have time for that.
Okay.
I don't understand how Google works.
It just sounds like kind of awkward as a word to me. Tallness. Okay. Height is nice because it's one syllable. And how high are you has other connotations. I just don't.
I know, but again, as your president, I'm going to be changing that.
No, but I also have another issue with that. How high are you? You're always on the ground. So like you're how high are you?
Yeah, how high are you?
How high up?
How
your
high
whole
are you?
Body is.
I know. How high are you from the ground? How high do you go? You start at the ground, then how high do you go?
How high are you from the ground? Well, like where is you? Are you saying that you is inside your head or is your foot?
I just don't see what this has to do with lettuce.
Moving on. And then I said, okay, you probably don't need to text that. You don't need to text oof when you sat down in your chair. And you said, sorry, I always have automatic dictating turned on. And I said, wow, I would expect a lot more texts then. And you said you're usually silent. Is that true? Are you usually silent?
Yeah. When we're not doing the podcast, I usually don't speak at all between podcasts.
Really?
Yeah. I walk around because I want to save my voice. I want to save my voice, and I also want to respect other people and let them talk.
Your voice always does sound real fresh. And,
It's because I don't speak
underutilized.
Yeah, we have not recorded a podcast in over a week, and it's rested.
Well, you have a wife and a child. You
do.
live with two other people.
I do. I live with a couple of people. I have a couple of people in the house.
Yeah, sure. What do you talk to them, or you don't talk to them?
Well, listen. I mean, we write a lot of notes. Sometimes we'll text.
Okay, you just text with your. How old is Charlie?
Nobody knows. There's no way to tell.
Okay.
Here's the deal.
Yeah.
When you live with a couple people, after a while, what is there to say anyway? What's the big deal about talking?
I feel like you need to say, are you hungry? I'm going out to get some food. Do you want something? Or
how about I just go out and get food and then I bring some back for them? I mean, why is the talking necessary?
Well, you might not want the food that they're getting.
That's why you always, when I go out, I buy a variety of things.
You could say, I love you. I appreciate you.
Yep. All you have to do is this. Do this right here. Pat your heart.
I was hoping you wouldn't
do one
explain.
of these.
Okay.
Maybe
heart
do one
symbol.
of these. Or maybe give them one of these. Or just do this.
I guess you could. Yes, you could do sign language of some kind or symbols. I suppose that's true. Is that what you do?
No, I just speak to them like a regular person. This whole bit is made up. Of course, I talk in between podcasts. It was ridiculous to think that I don't speak in between podcasts. It's a ridiculous.
Greg.
It's crazy that you would even believe such a thing.
You just derailed the whole thing, Greg. You just derailed it.
It's called improv. It's called improv.
It's called no, not. No but.
It's called No But. And speaking of but, it is now time for the Patreon-only bonus talking section, which is everyone's favorite portion of the podcast because they get to hear this recording.
This portion of Two Guys Talking About Lettuce has been edited out for your listening inconvenience. If you wish to hear the complete, unedited version with the bonus talking, be sure to visit patreon.com/Two Guys Talking About Lettuce. And now, back to the edited, not as good version of the podcast.
And that's the end of the Patreon-only section. It was very serious today. And we delved into some deep, heavy subjects. It was, honestly, I feel like it was
uncomfortable.
It was a remarkable conversation.
It was, I feel like it was a conversation that we had, and I'm uncomfortable.
But I feel like anyone who heard it, their lives will be greatly improved forever.
In the sense that, no. I don't think so.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Listen, here, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get more people to join the Patreon because it's only $3 a month.
I think they'll have fun listening. I think it'll be worth it to take the time to listen, but I can't really guarantee your life will be better.
No, I can guarantee that. Hey, let me ask you something. Did you ever change the name of the YouTube channel to Lettuce Guys so people could just go to youtube.com/Lettuce Guys?
No, I did not.
You should do that because you can create a shortcut, and I'm sure Lettuce Guys isn't.
I thought I did that when I set it up.
Well, maybe you should do it again. Maybe you
should do it right now. Should I just do it right now?
Do it right now. All right. While you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and share with people their favorite part that they always look forward to in every episode. This is a thing that everybody always loves when I list anagrams for lettuce. for the word lettuce. An anagram, in case any of you
Okay.
don't know, is when you take
Yeah.
a word, you jumble up the letters, and you come up with different words. And
How do I change it, Greg? First, walk me through it. How do I
look? I'm busy. I'm doing the anagram section. This is everyone's favorite
Greg,
section. Don't ruin it.
please? I feel like you should
Don't ruin it.
walk. Okay.
Don't you know how to use Google? Just ask Google a question. Just say, dear Google, I have a
Yeah.
question for you. Please get back to me when you're ready to answer my question, and then wait for their response.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, just type that. Just type that into Ask Jeeves or whatever.
Okay. Wait. How about Google? Why not?
Yeah,
use
no, or
Google for
whatever.
that?
Just use that. Use that or Alta Vista or whatever.
I think I found it.
See,
I think I found it.
That's all you had to do. That's all you had to
Okay.
do. All right, anagrams for lettuce. Now, here's the interesting thing about the word lettuce. There are no other 7-letter words, because lettuce has 7 letters. I don't know if you've counted them, but there are 7. There are no other 7-letter words that are anagrams for the word lettuce. The only 2 solutions that are 2 words are cute let and tea cult. And tea being spelled T.
Listen, as fun as this
T-E-E.
is, Greg, I went through and I discovered that I did, in fact, already make a custom URL, but you have to put the /C/2 guys talking about lettuce.
What? No, I want 2. I want lettuce guy. Lettuce guys is less. That's less.
All right. Okay, we'll do lettuce guys, but you did Patreon 2 guys talking about lettuce.
I can
Just
change
wanna
that to
point
lettuce
out.
guys also if you want.
Wait,
That's
it's
gonna-
it's not letting me change it.
Oh no.
Yeah.
All right. Well, all
Yeah.
right. So basically now it's youtube.com/C/2 guys talking about lettuce.
Yes.
All right.
Yes,
Well, I
it
want to
is.
apologize to everybody who has to do all that typing.
Yeah,
A lot of typing.
it is.
I can't believe you just cut off I was talking about cute let and tea cult.
Yeah.
Also,
know, Greg.
if you use less letters, less than 7, then you come up with like cutlet, cuddle, elect, cult, loot, cute, Q, eel, all sorts of things. There's a lot
This is fascinating, Greg.
there's not many. I tell you, it's really not that fascinating because there aren't a lot of good anagrams for lettuce. So I decided to type in a longer word that maybe we'd get some more anagrams. So I typed in the word grandmother. And
Okay.
and you get 752 anagrams for grandmother because there's
Are
more
you going to
letters.
read them? Are you going to read them all?
I'm not going to read all of them. I'm going to
Yeah.
read my favorite 748 of them.
Okay. So 4 of them didn't make the cut for you?
Yeah, there were 4 I don't like.
Okay. I actually am more interested in what those 4 are.
Well, listen, you're going to have to go to the list and just cross off all the ones
which
that I name
4
off.
are
and
so bad
the
that
4
they
that
lost
are left,
out.
The 4 that are left are the ones that I didn't like. No, I'll tell you what I'll do then. I'm just going to read the top 3. My favorite
Okay.
3 anagrams for the word grandmother are dragon therm. That's a pretty good one.
Okay.
Grander moth. Grander
Okay.
moth is good. And dream throng.
Dream Throng.
Yeah, I wish it was dream thong, but you have to have
Yeah.
that R in there somewhere.
So if it was Gandmother, it would be Dream Thong.
Oh man,
Yeah.
you're right. I didn't think about that.
Hey, Greg, did you know that ancient Egyptians thought lettuce to be the symbol of sexual prowess and a promoter of love and childbearing in women?
Are they the ones who threw lettuce at that guy's chest? A
The
bag
Egyptians?
of lettuce?
Did you say like all of Egypt?
Yeah. Are they the ones who did that? Like all of Egypt went and threw lettuce at that guy's chest in Florida? And that guy
no.
in Florida's like, Egypt, what are you doing here in my house?
No, that's not what happened.
All right,
There
I'm
was a woman-
confusing my stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I knew that because I do remember you telling me that on like 2
No, I
other
think
podcasts.
I think I said it was symbol of love, but on Wikipedia it says symbol of sexual prowess, which
Yeah.
is a little bit dirtier. You know,
a lot
little
of people
dirtier.
say that you are a symbol of sexual prowess.
Who says that?
I've just read it in comments on your YouTube channel. A lot of people say
People
that.
people have typed out. I like this channel because Craig seems like a symbol of sexual prowess.
Yeah, well, if they
said that?
haven't said that, they're going to now.
Oh no, some people will.
Yeah.
And then many others will not know what they're talking about.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what they get for not listening to this podcast. This is an important podcast, and it proves people's lives. It
It improves. Yeah.
Or I think what I said is it proves people's life, which what I meant to say was it improves people's lives. But I really messed up my words there. I said wrong words.
But I like that it proves their life.
Yeah,
I like
it proves their life.
Yeah, if someone listens to this and comments, that's proof
That's
they're
alive.
alive.
Yep.
They're alive.
Congratulations, you're alive. All of you listening now.
We're doing good work here because there's so many people out there who, if someone told me they were alive, I'd be like, prove it.
Yeah.
Like there's no way I would know.
Yeah. And especially if they leave like a comment about a dream throng, then we'll know we know what they meant. We know they mean grandmother. We know that's what they mean. Like I was hanging out with my dream throng the other day. We'll know exactly what they were saying.
Is that the sentence they would use?
They
was
might.
hanging out with my dream throng.
They might. What do you think they're going to say? I was hanging out with my grander moth.
What do you think a dream throng is? What do you?
It's just a grandmother. It's just a jumbled up grandmother.
Oh, okay. So you're saying they say dream throng when they mean grandmother.
When they mean grandmother, exactly. Speaking of grandmother,
Okay.
you know, like when you're in the dentist office and someone says, "Excuse me, can you just hold my grandmother for a minute?" And then you do because you want to be nice to them, and then they just run out, and then you never see them again, and then you actually have to take care of their grandmother, and you have to feed them, and you don't know what they eat, and it's just
Has this happened to you?
Yeah, several times. And
you could talk to the grandmother. You could ask if she has any allergies.
Eventually you figure that out and you talk to her. But it's just like, to me, honestly, it's too much work. So from now on, when I'm in the dentist office and someone says, "Excuse me, can you just hold my grandmother for a second?" I'm going to go, "Oh, no. No, I will not. I will not hold your grandmother."
So is this person holding their grandmother before they handed their grandmother to you?
Obviously.
Yeah, you don't hold your grandmother.
Well, maybe you don't hold your grandmother, and I'm sorry for your grandmother that she's not getting the sort of love that she wants. All she wants to do is be held.
Well, my grandmother's not alive anymore.
Well, neither's mine. But let's not squabble over details.
I mean, I have hugged my grandmother many times. Is that what you mean by holding?
Before or after she died? Oh, this is good now. This is good stuff.
Not after she died.
Okay, all right.
No. Yeah. But what was I saying?
I think that you were about to say that some people do the opposite prank, where if someone says, "Excuse me, can you hold my grandmother for just a second?" They'll just take the grandmother and run. And then the other person's like running after them going, "Ah, give me back my grandmother! Give me back my grandmother!"
Right. Nobody is holding their grandmother and handing them off to somebody and saying, "Hold my grandmother."
How do you know? Do you know everybody and their grandmother? You don't. You don't know.
I'm 100% sure that this doesn't happen, Greg. 100%.
Look at you.
Someone could hand off a grandmother to someone else, but I don't think it would go down like that. I don't think they'd single out one person and be like, "Hey, you hold my grandmother," and then run away. I think they would just abandon their grandmother if that's what they want to do.
All right. Okay, Craig.
I think they would just leave their grandmother somewhere and go away if they were truly they wanted to abandon their grandmother.
Okay.
I don't think they would single someone out because that would implicate them.
You think so? You think so?
Yeah.
What if they just say it's their grandmother and it's not really their grandmother? What if they had been pranked by somebody else and someone else had given them that grandmother and it's not really their grandmother and they just wanted to hand the grandmother off to someone else? Let it be someone else's responsibility.
Wait, so someone who's had a grandmother but it wasn't their grandmother.
Yeah,
handed it off.
Yeah, let's say that a couple years earlier they were in a dentist office.
It just
and then
seems
someone did that to them.
It just seems like a really that wouldn't happen. Them in a dentist's office, someone doing that to them. But I could see someone being in possession of possession is not the right word, but
no, it is. That's the correct word.
Taking the care of someone else's grandmother. Yeah, I can see that being a possibility.
They're in possession of someone else's grandmother. Yes. Yes.
Possession isn't the right word.
I think it is.
I feel like I regret saying that. But again, why would they just hand it off to someone? If you were concerned about someone else's grandmother not being taken care of, maybe you would call social services.
No, it's not about that. No. It's just it is a great emotional and financial responsibility to care
Yeah.
for someone else's grandmother, and you don't even know her. And look, you're just assuming that she's just a sweet old lady. She might not be nice at all. She might.
I'm not assuming. I'm not assuming anything about her.
She might be a horrible, racist alcoholic. I mean, she might just
I know
be
that's
terrible.
true. Yes, that is. Yeah, that could be true.
She might,
Yeah, but-
you might bring her
but
home
again-
and say like, here, this is my apartment. There's my
Yeah.
kitchen, and then she can just open up the cabinets and just start throwing dishes at you.
Yeah, again, okay, I'm not disputing that she might be awful. That's fine.
I mean, you got
That's
broken,
not fine,
you got
but-
broken dishes everywhere, and
Yeah.
and now you're gonna have to take care of this
What
lady
I'm-
for
what
the
I'm
rest of her
more
life.
I'm just more taking issue with just handing her off to somebody.
Well, what are you gonna do? How else are you gonna trick them into taking her? You can't.
Well-
you can't just like.
You're not. That's not tricking them into taking her. That's just going here, take her, and then leaving. You're
no,
gonna
no,
get
no.
the cops are gonna come for you.
No, you misunderstand. I
Okay.
didn't say, here, take my grandmother. I said, excuse me, can you hold my grandmother just for a second? Just hold her for a second. Like, oh, I got too much. I have too many paper towels in my arms,
Yeah.
and I need to put the paper towels into this duffel bag.
Yeah.
So you hand the grandmother, who's not really your grandmother, you hand her to someone else.
Wait, so you're
And-
holding the grandmother and a bunch of paper towels.
Yeah, you got like
Yeah.
6-7 rolls of paper towels, and they're bulky.
That's
they're not,
your
they're
lie
not-
that you're coming up with?
They're not.
Yeah.
No. They're not
Yeah.
heavy. They're just bulky. And you got that big
Yeah.
duffel bag, and you can't even unzip it. So
Yeah.
you hand off the grandmother, who's
No,
not even your
the
grandmother.
paper towels is an act that you created, right, to get rid of the grandmother?
No,
Or-
no. You just like you were at the paper towel store, and they're like, "Here are your
Oh.
paper towels," and then you're
So-
like, and they're like, "Do you want me
Why
to put?"
would you buy so many paper towls if you're holding a grandmother?
they had
already?
a
Like,
sale. It's like buy 6 get 1 free, so
and
then you get
you'd
the
have
7.
a cart or something, like if you're going to be
Well, you
carrying all
have
that
obviously
stuff.
you have a
Put it
duffel
in the
bag,
car.
but you didn't think to open the duffel bag soon enough. Look, you're trying to you're making this complicated.
This person, whoever this person is with the paper towels and the grandmother, is very irresponsible and does not think ahead very well.
Well,
Like,
look,
if you're going to go to the store and get that many paper towels, and you know you have to carry your grandmother for some reason, you would drive or get a car
Okay.
of some
Okay.
an Uber maybe.
Like everybody's Richie Rich. Okay, Richie Rich, get in your car, drive
Well,
your
if you can't
convertible
afford
Bentley
it-
to the
if you
paper
can't
towel
afford
store.
it- If you can't afford that, well, then you would take a smaller trip. You would leave your grandmother at home and maybe take a
Come
few
on.
paper towels.
She is an
Yeah.
invalid. She cannot be just
Yeah.
left at home. She's hopeless. You have to carry her with you when you walk the 6
So you have
blocks
to be
the
with this
paper towel
grandmother
store.
every moment
Of
at all
course,
times.
she cannot take care of herself, and also she's a horrible, horrible person. Look, Craig.
Okay.
Craig,
Yeah.
I really feel like you're just wasting time now in this podcast because we're trying to have a serious conversation, and you're making a mockery of the whole
What
thing.
is our serious conversation we're trying to have?
We're
What is that?
We're talking about trying to tell people that when you're in the dentist's office, just get ready to say no when you're asked that question. That's all. That's the only bit of information I was trying to share with our listeners.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess that's good advice. If someone says, "Here, watch my grandmother,"
No, they don't say
and
watch.
and-
They don't say watch my grandmother.
Can you hold my grandmother
Yeah.
for a second?
Yeah.
Say no. Yeah. I mean, watching someone's grandmother for a second might be okay, but
I watch grandmothers all day long.
okay.
You know,
I don't need to know about your private life, Craig. I don't.
it's not
need to
private.
know.
I do
I
it
don't
in public.
need to know what you're watching on the internet. I do not need.
No,
to hear
it's not on the
about that.
internet. I go to
Uh,
places where a lot of grandmothers hang out, and I just watch them.
Okay, we can. I don't need to know.
I just want to make sure they're okay.
Greg, stop saying any more. You're implicating yourself.
I'm not. I just want to make sure that they're okay and that they're safe, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Safe where? At like a home that they live in?
No,
Like-
just in public. I want to make sure that they're fine. Sometimes old ladies, like grandmothers, they need help, like crossing the street or something, or maybe
Yeah. Yeah.
they need a few rolls of paper towels or whatever.
But
I don't know what
you
they
probably
might
don't need to seek that out. Like maybe if you see someone who needs help across the street, sure, help them. But like going and watching, just watching
Look,
someone.
Look, Craig.
I mean-
Craig, somewhere in some small town right now, probably in a town where someone is listening to this very podcast, like in Thailand.
Yeah.
There's some
Yeah.
lady in Thailand right now, some old grandmother, who's
Yeah.
standing at the side of a road going, won't someone please help me? Except she says it like in Chinese or whatever. And
No,
she says,
Thai. She says it in Thai.
No.
Thai.
She's Chinese, but she lives in
Okay.
Thailand. Why do you have to
Okay.
stereotype? So she's Chinese.
Yeah.
She moved to
Yeah.
Thailand and she needs help
Okay.
crossing a street. She can't read
All
the
right.
street signs because they're in a different language. And
Sure.
and no one is helping her. You know why? Because they are not proactively going out looking for grandmothers who need help. I rest my case.
We should all take care of the elderly in our society. I
Take
agree.
care.
We
Take
should-
care.
No.
Oh.
Greg's pointing it, making a gesture like pointing a gun to his head right now.
No. I was just thinking.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
thinking
just
with your
thinking.
thumb up, and
Yeah.
you did like a
Yeah,
trigger
just
with
like
your thumb.
thinking to yourself.
That's how you. That's how you think.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We should all take good care of our elderly in our
Yeah.
population.
Yeah. And Steve.
And-
And that guy Steve. He's a pretty good guy. Be nice
I don't
to
know.
Steve.
I don't know if he is, but
That's what his warden says. His warden says he's been doing a good
well,
job.
Maybe he is. Maybe he has. But why are we singling him out for this podcast?
He's the sponsor. What do you
Oh.
think? Jim didn't sponsor this
He didn't
podcast. or I'd
sponsor.
be-
He didn't pay us though. He's not.
I
the
know,
sponsor.
but you don't have to pay to be a sponsor. And if anybody else wants to be a sponsor, we will.
Listen, if
we will
you
give
are a
you
listener of this podcast
Yeah.
and you want us to let people know that you're a good person,
Yeah. Just email me.
We might email Greg. Apparently, that's all you got to do.
All you gotta do is email
And-
me.
You might not. I don't. Honestly, I don't know if you are a good person though. Like you
Me?
haven't proven it. Greg. Well, I don't know if you are either, Greg.
Oh gosh,
But,
I feel like you know me better than that.
well, you're right. I do know. I mean, we do live thousands of miles apart, so I don't know. I don't know you that well.
It doesn't matter.
But
You've
Okay.
stayed at my house a couple of different times. We've
yeah.
hung out a lot.
I
at
think
conventions.
I know you enough to be comfortable in saying that I think you're a good person. That's true. But you never know. You never know.
Oh no,
You-
it's true. You never. You don't really
Okay,
know what's.
you-
You don't really know what's going on in here.
yeah,
you know?
Greg. Don't. That gesture does not. Greg,
I'm just thinking.
What?
I'm just thinking right now.
Greg, you don't need the sound effect. Really makes it seem like it's a gun.
No,
It's like
no, it is not
Yeah.
a gun. Those are the
Okay.
sounds that my brain makes when I'm thinking.
your brain makes the sound of a gun
Yeah.
shooting.
Yeah, I think it,
Yeah.
and then the thoughts just come out.
Wow. This must be why you're silent a lot of the time because your brain is just being so loud.
That's how I think. That's just how I
Okay.
think.
The point is, we should treat our elderly well, and Steve might be a good person. And
Oh, hang on.
oh,
Oh, I'm sorry. I just got a notification. Steve is in fact not a good person, and he was just trying. He was just trying to keep people from shivving him in prison.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Apparently,
Well,
a lot
why-
of people want to shiv Steve.
Because he's not a good person.
Apparently, he's horrible. Oh yeah, no, I'm hearing
Uh,
right now. Apparently, he is awful.
From who?
Gary
Who are you hearing
Busey.
this?
Gary Busey's
Oh.
telling me. And it all
Gary
comes
Busey.
back around. That's called
Oh.
improv, folks. It's like we just did a Herald. Thank you so much for listening to two guys
Lettuce.
talking about lettuce. We hope you had a good time and
Talking
learned
about
something very
lettuce.
important about the elderly and about
Lettuce.
Steve. My name is Greg Benson.
My name is Greg Benson.
And special thanks to Gary Busey. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful week. And we will see you next time.
You think we
on
can get Gary Busey on this podcast?
No, he's way too expensive. On Two Guys.
Oh, you want me to finish that, or did you forget the name?
Talking about lettuce.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.